Hello YouTube, this is Dakota from Bowtie Media, and today we've got a brand new installment of This Week in EDM, where we go over songs that came out this past week in EDM. It's self-explanatory as that. There's a Spotify link down below for all the songs if you use Spotify, and just a reminder that this is just my opinion. Do not take them as gospel truths, so let's hop into this full dapper week. And in the trash category, we've got Rehab with Tsunami. Just the epitome of commercial dance slop. Nothing new, nothing interesting, using the title of an already massive dance hit, and lyrics that are pretty much unintelligible. And then hopping into the bad category, we've got Dimitri Vegas and David Guetta featuring Loreen with Pum Pum. Okay, first things first, I will never understand why producers need other producers to produce a song for them. Dimitri Vegas and David Guetta are massive names in the space, so why have Andromedek produce this track just to give him not a main artist tag here? I don't know. Regardless, the song is short, more commercial-leaning drum and bass tune with no real hook, and nothing else really keep me coming back for more. It sucks to see Andromedek, even as a producer, stoop down to David Guetta standards. Then we got Sam Feldt featuring Sophie Stray with Cheap Champagne. Generic dance house pop song here with no real life or creativity, just ridiculously boring. Then we have Tweekaz featuring HALIENE with Beyond. Yo, who greenlit or approved a hardstyle cover of Disney's Moana's main theme song? I would like a word with them because this is just nonsense. The lyricism does not match the genre or tone, and the Tweekaz are like not the guys to bring in for a serious Disney cover. The only good thing about this track is HALIENE's incredible vocals. Then in the meh category, we've got Argy and MEDUZA featuring PollyAnna with Melodia. Melodic techno that is straightforward, by the books. I don't know, it has a hint of being something special, but ultimately lands very meh, with a lack of energy, specifically on those drop movements. We got Cartoon, VALLO, and Kazhi featuring Blooom with Euphoria. For the most part, this tune stays pretty safe and in the slow lane with its drum and bass production, but honestly, there is just something about that main synth melody that just sounds so silly and unserious to me. Then we got Nicky, Romero, and Barmuda with Fade Away. The most middle ground, meh, generic, 5 out of 10 track you'll hear all week. This is just standard festival progressive house. Then we got Excision and Sullivan King with Encore. For an Excision and Sullivan King collab, this is pretty much as expected in terms of heavy, aggressive dubstep with seemingly nonsensical production at times. It's the same old song and dance from these guys. Then we've got Steve Aoki with Legacy. New Steve Aoki tune for a game, Fatal Fury, that I've never played, but this is better than like 50% of his discography, so why is he producing some of his better stuff for video games? I'm not really sure, but hey, it's a decent tune and I'll take what I can get. We got INFEKT with VEGGIE, ANTHEM. A typical kind of rhythm production here from INFEKT on this one. I like the switch up in song structure with the more fleshed out, kind of elongated end of the main drop movements, but it's also not really saying much at those times either. Then we got Fluorescents and Mazare with The Sound. While this track may be labeled as drum step, I think this falls way more into like pop, punk territory, with just a fairly generic drum and bass beat. If anything, that's that guitar work that really takes this track to another level, but overly I wasn't really fond of the vocal delivery, and in the end I thought it was just fairly decent. Then we got Club 909 with Play, which is the combined alias of Affinity and DSAB. A nice little club-focused track with a steady beat and simple yet effective melody. Then we got 7 Lines and Quacksun featuring Grabbits with Take Me to My Grave. I'll give the song some credit for being unique, but it sadly did not land in really any capacity for me. Grabbits, as always, though, sounds phenomenal, but I'm just so confused where they were going with this production. Like, what are they aiming for? It's like this kind of dubstep, mid-tempo hybrid that sadly isn't really doing anything overly impressive at all and sounds a little jumbled. got DJ Diesel, Samplifier, and Ivory with Animal, with the new MDE EP out now by Diesel. First of all, this is possibly the hardest album art in EDM history, but as an individual track though, I think this is kind of mostly like other Diesel tracks with a fairly typical Brittum cut. This will definitely get the crowd up and moving, and I do think this song in particular is better than a majority of the Diesel songs on this EP. Then we have FuntCase and Chime with F***ing Lovely. This track starts as this atmospheric garage tune that slowly morphs into and remains as this kind of slowed down, half-time dubstep, almost rhythm track with a heavy kick snare. I actually really loved the more garage-leaning intro and wish it had gotten some more of that sound in particular, as I thought the halftime was a little empty at times for my personal liking. Then we have Beast Boy with Choke, a wild and wonky new Beast Boy tune that's pretty wild to even his own standards. The song has some pretty heavy usage of Nicki Minaj samples, which adds a layer of fun to the track, but also keeps things pretty odd in the mix. I think the song is a bit too all over the place for maybe me personally. We got Nightmare and Gorilla T featuring Ira with Everybody Knows. Nightmare has been on a bender of sorts with wildly unique tracks leaning into some, supposed new record coming out at some point. But yeah, I'm a little on the fence this one. It's a heavier kind of 140 dubstep style that is really atypical for Nightmare in particular. But I don't know, some things about it I really enjoy. Sometimes it's pretty generic. Then we're heading into the good category with Baby Mazare's Cash. A track that just is over 100 seconds in length and is just straight up trap gas. It's not the most explosive or exciting tune out there, but is a solid classic trap tune with a hip-hop edge to it. And we got Blank and Limey with How It Feels. A decent, yet still typical cut from Blank that sees his return to a more typical song structure and melodic dubstep soundscape. Then we got Dylan Francis and Martin Horger with B2U from this new AB double-sided single. This song in particular is a heavy bassline loaded techno track with a firm sustain the whole time as its lead melody. It's a shorter tune and isn't all that unique, but in the right context, I think the song does go crazy. Then we got Whipped Cream with Collide. Hard techno from Whipped Cream that I was generally a fan of. It's a simple beat and structure, but I think it's right up her alley, and I thought her vocals were also pretty on point here. Then we got Drinks on Me with About You. Drinks on Me with a new kind of upbeat garage tune with a grinding beat and punchy kick work. It's a fairly typical song structure for Drinks on Me standards, but executed quite well. Then we have Wink with Running Away. Another dense dubstep tune from Wink with hints of trap sprinkled all throughout. This is just generally a solid tune from Wink. Then we've got Zensei with Home from the new Deep Waters EP. This track in particular is a longer 5-minute, pretty much melodic house, almost down-tempo tune with a picturesque soundscape and natural progression. Then we've got Nettie with Too Short for the Lies from the new Nettie Online album. This song in particular is a bright and cheery tune with a slowed down, almost like 1980s aesthetic, like it should be played over like the loudspeaker in a semi-abandoned mall. Fun track, fun record. Then we've got Salute with More Soul from the new True Magic Deluxe record. In true Salute fashion, this song is a playful garage house tune with a lot of whimsical production elements. That being said, I can understand why this track may or have not made the original cut of the main record, as it's relatively plain for Salute standards, but still pretty great. And we got Ramesses B with We Love 2. A part 2 of a track that is now 11 years old, and man, that just dates me a lot because I remember when the song originally came out. Crazy, but yes, there's a ton of great stuff going on here. The tone, the atmosphere, the sound design, it's all very much the same as the original, but with a bit more of a jumpy beat to it. It's essentially turning the original liquid drum and bass tune to a more dance floor drum and bass tune, and I like both pretty equally. We've got Boombox Cartel, Mirza, and Insomnia with Manzel, which names I'm sure I butchered the whole time, but this is a fun mixture of hybrid trap and wonky with heavy inspirations here from Flume on that final movement. There is a lot of variety in sound design and production elements all throughout to make this a real journey of a tune. Then we got Above and Beyond featuring Malo with Letting Go, from the new Bigger Than All of Us LP out now by Above and Beyond. Brand new progressive trance album is here from this iconic trio, and this song in particular is a solid representation of the LP as a whole. It's beautiful, it's atmospheric, it's serene, just top tier trance. Emma Louise and Flume with Easy Goodbye. A newly announced upcoming collab album from these two, and so this is, I'm sure, is acting as the lead single for this, and I think it's pretty solid. The atmosphere is spacious, the production is their classic wonky, yet still very clean. Then we got What's So Not and Dactyl featuring Riz Levi with Wash Over. A serene and calming liquid drum and bass tune with lots of percussion work that almost makes it feel like it's garage at times. The atmosphere of this tune is beautiful and calming, and it's perfectly right up my alley and stuff that I love. And we had a ton of great songs this week, so we've got a bunch in the standout category, starting with Virtual Riot and Viperactive with What You Got. This track may be a hair under 3 minutes, but it doesn't really feel all that short. In fact, the song sounds like Virtual Riot and Viperactive in tip-top form. A predominantly trap cut with a mixture of dubstep to make this track feel like it's straight off of Virtual Riot's latest Stealing Fire record. Then we've got Grizz featuring Flodan with Coast to Coast. One of the stronger cuts from Grizz in the last little bit, and maybe ever from him. And Flodan is always a plus on a track. The production on this thing is the perfect amount of wonky and aggressive in true Grizz form. Then we got Enzo and Bluka with Beyond Love. This track is funkalicious. The blend of new disco, funk, and electro house. The song is both a throwback jam as well as a modern take on new disco. Quite simply put, the smoothest track of 2025 so far. And then we've got Eliminate with Turn It Up. I'm actually just in love with this track. Eliminate was absolutely cooking on this thing. The melody on this track is super well polished and incredibly infectious. This is looking like the lead single from, I guess, a new EP coming out, and I am super stoked to hear this full project. And our emerging artist spotlight of the week, I've talked about them a couple times here, but I want to give them a proper shout out here, is Tesseract with Blood. Man, I just want to highlight them because I think their sound is absolutely phenomenal. I've loved what these guys put out. This latest tune sees them embracing a more dark and moody new dubstep style that absolutely kicks butt. But that's been This Week in EDM. Let me know what you guys think of any and all songs in the comment section below. And other than that, I've been Dakota from Bowtie Media, and I'll see you guys in another video.